Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wa salatu wa salam ala rasulihi kareem. Wa ala alihi wa ashabi ajma'een. Wa ba'd. Alhamdulillah. What we intend to do this evening is a review and a summary of the last 5 classes from our first class to our 5th class. This review is going to be a little bit longer than the other classes have been because I want to cover important points that took place in those classes. I want to remind us that some of our members read the Arabic and some don't. So those of you who either don't read Arabic or could use support with the Arabic, what we've been mentioning before is some of the words, when we bring them up and we say what they are, have a notebook, inshallah ta'ala. Maybe you can write the word, because you can still do that even if you're not a good reader of Arabic, and put your phonetics on how the word sounds to you so that when you're not attending the class, you still can pronounce the word. Write it in a way that reminds you how it's pronounced so that you can still pronounce the word by your phonetics. Inshallah ta'ala. Everyone who needs help with the Arabic, we're going to keep trying to work out a way to help you with that, inshallah ta'ala. On the sister side, there's a sister I know that's very good with the Arabic alphabet. Okay, anyway, so I want to move forward in getting the review going, inshallah ta'ala. And the review, remember the points. Hada, for this or this is, when it's a person or something masculine, because remember, those things that are masculine, even though they're not necessarily people, in Arabic, things have masculine names and feminine names. Some things are masculine, and some things are feminine. Okay, like masjid is a masculine noun, and sayyara, which is a car, is a feminine noun. So we said hada means this or this is, and it's for those things that are near and masculine. Hadihi is feminine for those things and those people that are near. Okay, so hada, it could be hada Abdurrahim, this is Abdurrahim, or it could be hada masjid, this is a masjid. It could be hadihi Salima, this is Salima, or it could be hadihi Sayyara, this is a car. Okay, so there are things that are not people, not animate, but in Arabic they're still masculine and feminine. Okay, and the other thing is that what we covered in these 7 points that I want to remind us of is that we learn these things because they're opposites. Many of these things in the book are in chapters or lessons far away from each other. Hada is in the first lesson. Hadihi is like in the 6th lesson somewhere, okay? But we brought them together so that you can become familiar with them now, work on becoming comfortable and knowing what they mean. And as we're going through the rest of the lessons, when we come to those places, it becomes easier for you to work with, okay? Inshallah ta'ala. Pardon my speech, yeah. Dhalika. Dhalika is a word for people or things that are far, masculine. Okay, so we would say that is Samir, that is Brother Samir, or we say, Dhalika Samir, that is Brother Samir, or we say Dhalika Bait, that is our house, because it's masculine and it refers to something usually that's not near you. It could be across the room or it could be across town, right? Dhalika is for that which is not near. Hada and hadihi refer to something that's near you. You're introducing somebody to someone, that person is near you, right? So you say, Hada Abdullah, this is Abdullah. Or hadihi Nadira, this is Nadira. Okay, like that. With Dhalika, we say, and over there, Dhalika Abdurrahman, that is Abdurrahman. Okay? And the feminine of that was Tilka. Tilka is for that is, if you're referring to a lady, right? And that is Fatima. That is Fatima. Tilka Fatima. Okay, so that's review of 4 of the 7 points that we started on. Then we had the word ma, which we said is for a question. It asks a question. Okay, it means what. It's asking you about a thing. If we put ma in front of hadha, we have ma hadha. What is this? We put it in front of dhalika, we have ma dhalika. What is that? Okay, so ma asks the question what? And it refers to animals and inanimate objects. People are who. If you're referring to jinns, we say man, we're going to say who. If you're referring to people, we're going to say who. If you're referring to angels, we're going to say who, right? And when we refer to Allah, we say who. Now understand, by categorizing this, we're not putting Allah in a category with his creation. We're just indicating Allah Ta'ala says, right? He it is who created you, right? He it is who. So Allah Ta'ala uses the word in the Arabic for who because he's not going to be what, right? Because he created, right? Just like we know Allah is not he in the gender of a masculine or a male person, but he uses he for the pronoun that's all encompassing. Okay, so ma means what? The word men means who. This is what we use when we refer to who. So we don't say ma hadha, what is this, when we're pointing to a person. That's their rude thing, right? Man, what is this? Like instead of asking who is this, right? We say man hadha for who is this. We say men. Men hadha, men. And we ask ma hadha for what is this if we have no idea what the thing may be. We say man hadha for who is this if we have no idea who the person may be. But this last point, is there to turn something into a question because we might have an idea what it is, right? So if you're looking at a building, you say, ma hadha, what is this, right? I can't tell if this is a school or a precinct or whatever. So you say, what is this? Then the person will tell you, hadha masjid, or hadha madrasa. This is a school. This is a masjid, right? And if you don't know who the person is, you may say, man hadha, who is this? Like, tell me who this is. I have no idea who this person is. But we use for if you have an idea who it might be, if you want to take a guess at who it might be. So if you say, for example, you're looking at a building and a person may say, hadha masjid, they're saying, is this a masjid? They're taking a guess at what this building might be. Okay? And the answer is going to be yes or no. Okay, so that's where we're starting, inshallah ta'ala. So in our review, we want to remember, we talked about the fact that in Islam, in English, we have 8 parts of speech. And in Arabic, there are 3 parts of speech, and all those 8 parts of speech are included inside the 3 parts of speech in Arabic. The first of those is al-ism, ism, like for name. When we say Bismillah, we put the bih in front of it. Ism, al-ism. Al-ism is referred to as the noun. But I want you to understand that technically, it doesn't really just stand for nouns in English, because it covers the noun in English, it covers pronouns in English, it covers adjectives in English, it covers adverbs in English, right? So it covers a number of things in English. It covers 5 parts of speech. And then you have the fa'l, this fa'l, right? Fa, F-I, apostrophe L, fa'l. This is the verb, the action word. Okay, so the verb only covers one thing. It covers verbs, action words. When we talk about the ism, this covers words that are complete, that they don't fall under time, like a verb is, present, past, future, right? And they have a meaning that's general, direct, and you got an idea what it is. The third part is called the harf, H-A-R-F, al-harf. The harf is like the smallest particle from, it could be a letter of the alphabet is a harf, or it could be a 1-letter word, a 2-letter word, 3-letter word. These are words that by themselves, they don't give you any information. Like, for example, fi is a harf, right? Fi means in. So if you say to somebody fi, or you say to someone in, it gives them not in what? They got to ask questions to know what you're talking about, right? So harf is like a particle where you can't get much information from it, but it's a real word. Now, why I'm mentioning these 3 matters to you, okay, because the verb, the fa'l, we won't be dealing with much yet. But the reason why I'm mentioning these to you, because everything that we learn about in the Arabic, as we're learning our vocabulary, the different things we're going to learn in the Medina Book 1, they're gonna fall, as we described them, they're gonna fall under ism. So when you hear ism in front of whatever that thing is called, remember that that just means it falls under the category of the ism. Okay, so it's that second part that's actually the name of that part of speech we're dealing with. Okay, same thing with harf. There are going to be things that we're going to mention, and harf is going to be in front of its name, but pay attention also to the name. The harf is to let you know what category, what part of speech is falling under, but its name will follow the word harf. Don't let this scare you. Remember when we were in school, some of us enjoyed uh, English and grammar and things like that, and some of us didn't. This is going to be different because you're going to focus on things that's going to make this a little easier, inshallah ta'ala. Don't let the idea of parts of speech and different grammar rules that come into play bother you, because it's going to get easy. Just let observation be your guide and hold on to it, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, so we mentioned hadha and we mentioned hadhihi. We said that hadha and hadhihi refer to when you're saying this or this is. Hadha, hadha, hadhihi, hadhihi. Right? Hadha the masculine, hadhihi the feminine. So hadha is what you call, see, it's an ism. Ism ishara. Ism ishara just simply means it points. You know, ishara is a word that means point. It points at things, okay? And it points at things, little mufra. It points at things that are singular, right? You know how we say this and we also say those, right? So hadha is for this, okay? It's singular. Al mudhakr, hadha means it refers to that which is masculine, whether it's a male person or anything else outside of the people. Okay, it's for what's qarib. Qarib means it refers to something that's near, as I explained, and al-aql, it refers to something that has aql, the intellect, and it refers to ghayr al-aql, that which doesn't have aql. Don't worry too much about this part that I'm saying, because that's just for notes, mostly for the people who read the Arabic. That's just for their notes to keep record. And don't worry about it. Just hear it. You're going to learn a lot just by hearing. Okay, and hadhihi, as I pointed out, it's an ishara. It's a demonstrative pronoun that points to things that are near the feminine, as we mentioned about the hadha. Okay, so we said it covers that which is aql and that which has had the intellect. Aql is intellect. You know how you hear the word aqil or aqila, the people's names. It means that someone who is intelligent, someone operates by the intellect. And just the opposite. Oh, and also the reason why we mentioned we cover these opposites in Islam, there's a foundational principle that we understand things by their opposite. So when we learn things together as opposites, it makes it easier to learn both, because if you master at least one of them, then you know the other one is the obvious counter when you're not sure about a thing, because it's not falling in the category of what you know. Okay, so if it falls under have that and you know that it refers to that which is masculine, then if you don't remember have the for any kind of reason, when you see it, since you know it's not have that, then you know that's for the feminine. Things like that. Same thing with dalika. Dalika is the masculine for that. Okay, it's the masculine for that, a thing that's not near you. Ba'i, the thing that's not near. Tilka, tilka means that for feminine things that are not near. Feminine could be person or inanimate object. Tilka, the feminine for the word that. Dhalika, the masculine for the word that. Dhalika, dhalika, masculine for that. Tilka, feminine for that. So, hadha is this or this is when you're referring to something masculine. Hadhihi is for this or this is when you're referring to something feminine. Dhalika is for that or that is. Dhalika means that or that is, referring to what is masculine. Again, remember, masculine in Arabic is going to be human, inanimate objects, and so forth and so on, okay? Tilka is the feminine for that or that is. Tilka, okay? And then we refer to ma and men and how they are words that ask a question. Okay? Words that ask a question. So you may ask, Ma hadha, what is this? Ma hadha, what is this? Ma is referred to as ismu istifham. It's an ism. See, it's an ism. Istifham means it asks a question. Okay? It asks you a question about something that doesn't have intellect. Ma is not used to refer to something that has intellect. Okay? Ma asks you what. Okay, so ma hadha means what is this? Okay, here's an example. Ma hadha, what is this? Hadha bab. This is a door, right? A door doesn't have intellect. I know we're in some modern times with some digital stuff, but a door doesn't have intellect, right? Ma hadha, what is this? Hadha bab. Bab is the word for door, right? If you don't read Arabic well, then write the word B-A-A-B to remind you. Bab. Hadha bab. Bab, this is a door. Now, suppose when someone says ma hadha, and someone says hadha rajul. Hadha rajul. Rajul means man. This is a man. So you can't ask ma hadha if there's a man standing there. You can't say ma hadha. So hadha rajul won't be a correct answer for ma hadha. Okay? But man, since man refers to human beings, it's used as referring to jinns, it's used as referring to angels, and it's used as referring to Allah because man means who. So man hadha means who is this? Man hadha, who is this? Man is also ismu istifham, just like ma is. It's a ism that asks a question. Istifham means to seek understanding, seek information. Ismu istifham means that man asks a question. Lil aql. It asks a question about something that has the aql. Human beings, like we said, jinns, angels, and referring to Allah, right? So if you ask a question, you would say, Man hadha tabib. Hadha tabib. Tabib. Tabib means a doctor. Man hadha, who is this? Hadha tabib. This is a tabib. This is a doctor. Okay? So that would be correct because the doctor has aql. Doctor is a human being. What you won't do, you won't say, Man hadha, who is this? And the person says, Hadha kitab. You wouldn't ask who about a book, right? Hadha kitab. Now we do know, we also wouldn't say Man hadha, and then someone says, Hadha kalb. This is a dog. You won't say, who is this? And the person say, this is a dog. But we do know in real life, in America, and there are people, if you have a dog, there's some people that will say, and who is this little fella, right? Or who is this? They say who about a dog, right? So, but in truth, grammatically, we say, what is this? So we say, Man hadha, who is this? Hadha kitab wouldn't be the right answer because kitab falls under gairal aql. It falls under that which does not have an aql, right? It falls under that which is referred to as ma. Okay? So we learned ma hadha means it's how you ask, what is this? So point to things around your house and remind yourself in practice, what is this? What is this? What is this? All the items that are not people fall under what? What is this? What is this? And we're going to work on vocabulary and review vocabulary that we covered inshallah ta'ala. Okay. And we said when you put the Aleph, the Hamza in front of it, it turns it into a question. So this is hadha sariya, meaning this is a bed or even a couch, right? With this in front of it is ahadha sariya. Is this a bed? Is this a couch? Ahadha. So with the Aleph in front of hadha like that, it becomes ahadha. It becomes a question now. So hadha is this is. Ahadha becomes is this. Is a question. Sariya, right? Sariya is bed or couch. And we also said in our lessons that the ism, that these nouns, that these anything under the ism, anything that's a noun, the ending vowel always defaults to dhamma, to the u sound. If it's just a general, which we're going to cover in a few minutes, if it's just a general word, it could be any bed, it could be any couch. We take the dhamma on the end, that makes the u sound, and we make it double. So we say sarirun, sarirun. And remember, don't worry or panic too much about anything because the videos stay on the site, and you can always go back at any time with your notebook and review and hit play, pause, review and play, pause. And trust me, you're gonna find that it's gonna become useful, inshallah ta'ala. Okay, just keep at it, and remember, knowledge is not really just gained by the attendance in the classroom. The real benefit comes by how you use your time outside of the classroom, doing the assignments, reviewing the videos and things on your own, and the quizzes that we have coming up, inshallah ta'ala, and the homework. Okay, so we said we said that is, this now is a Hamza. This is Hamza to istifham. Remember we said ma is ismu istifham. It's an ism that asks a question, right? We said is Hamza to istifham. It's a Hamza that asks a question. Okay? It's a harf. It's known as a harf. The ma and man are known as isms. Remember we said the three parts of speech? Ma and man are under the category of ism. This this is, because it's one letter, so this little particle is a harf. Okay? It's a harf. It's jawab. This word jawab means answer. You know, if you ask a question, you say su'al. That's a question. The word for answer is jawab. So it's a harf who it's jawab, jawabahu. It's a harf that its jawab, its answer, is going to be na'am. It's going to be na'am, yes, aw, or la. It's going to be yes, na'am, yes, na'am, or la, no. Okay, so is something that makes a question, and the answer for it is yes or no. We say, I have that bait. I'm standing there looking at a masjid, asking somebody, I have that bait. Is this a house? You know, they may look at me and they may say, La, have a masjid. This is a masjid. You know, in Buffalo, New York, we had a masjid that was built, you know, from a house that had been gutted out and reframed and restructured to be a masjid. So a person might walk past and they see it, they see the board banner at the top where it shows the name of the masjid, but they might not know. Hold up, is this a masjid or a house? So they ask, is this a masjid? The person's going to say, Naam, have the masjid. Okay, like that. Okay, you know. So the question is, I have that sarir. Is this a bed or couch? The answer, Naam, have that sarir. So if your guess is correct and it is what you're asking, the person will say Naam, and with a little extra courtesy, they will confirm what you asked. Naam, have that sarir. Yes, this is a bed or couch. Because some people just answer you with Naam, right? They just say yes and go about their business. Or they say La and go about their business. So they say La, but they didn't inform you of the answer to your question, but they did tell you it's not. So basically they answered your specific question, right? Okay, or you may say, I have that waladun. Is this a boy? Right? But you're looking at a man when you're asking, is this a boy? So the person answers, La, no. Had the rajul, no, this is a man. I have that waladun. Is this a boy? Waladun? La, no. Had that rajul, no, this is a man. Okay, so that's the review of those 7 points that we covered in our discussion over the 5 classes, right? We covered those and we used those in our classes in our various lessons. Then we came to al. So in the past, we had words like masjid, bait, bab, masjidun for masjid, baitun for house, babun for door, right? Bab, you hear the un on the end. It's not another syllable. It's simply that the dhamma on the end, since it's doubled, it has a noon sound, okay? Bait is house, baitun, meaning just any old house. Masjid is masjid. We say masjidun because it has that double dhamma. So we say masjidun, okay? And so forth and so on. But that's for when you have something that you're not really clear on exactly which one. You say masjidun, that could be any masjid. What masjid you referring to? You were in Madinah, you went to a masjid. Okay, which one? You might say Masjid al-Nabawi. You might say the Prophet's masjid, right? Now, that's the masjid. You know, it's a specific masjid. So al is here to make things definite. If you tell your children go to a house, they tell them go Baytun, You're telling them go to a house. So they don't know what house you want them to go to. But if you tell them Al Bait, go to the house, oh, they know you're talking about home, right? So Al is there to make that which is an indefinite thing definite. Okay. So every time you hear Al connected to something, it's making it specific to a specific thing. Okay. So Al translates in English to the. Okay. Al, the. And we learned Al is a harf. Okay. Harf with tarif. This means it's a harf that helps make something recognizable, something definite, something certain, something known. Okay. That's what Al is. So words are of two types. You have a nakira. The nakira means it's not certain. It could be any Baytun. It could be any house. Masjidun. It could be any masjid. Okay, Babylon. That could be a door across town, or door on another planet, right? Babylon. Okay, so that's nakira. That's a term you're going to see. We may say it sometimes. Sometimes we may not say it, but we're mentioning it so you know what it is. Okay, nakira. Nakirah. Nakira. Okay, and then you have the wa is for and, wal, ma'rifat. Okay, ma'rifat. Ma'rifa, M-A apostrophe for the ayin, M-A apostrophe R-I-F-A-H. Ma'rifa. Ma'rifa means that which is recognized. And you know what's amazing is that many of us, even before we got exposed to seeing or a lot of Arabic, as Muslims, we heard a lot of terms, so we began to pick up a lot of words, right? We've been saying Assalamu alaikum since before maybe even seeing an alphabet, right? But when you look at the Kitab al-Tawheed, when you look at things like Islam, the consistency and requirements, we have what? Ma'rifatullah, right? Recognition of Allah, right? Ma'rifa to the books, the angels, all those things, right? Ma'rifa. So ma'rifa means it's recognizable. It's pretty certain what you're talking about. Okay, you're aware. So arif is to know or to be aware. So the nakira shay'in ghayru mu'ayyan. This means it's something that is not very certain. Okay, a nakira, something that's not very certain. In the nahwa, in the grammar, it will be something like baytun, qalamun. Baytun is house. Qalamun, a house. Rajulun, a man, right? And bintun, a girl or a daughter. Okay, that's an example of something nakira. It's going to have that dhamma, the tanween, the double dhamma on it, where you have that un sound. Okay, and that which is marifa, al-marifa. Okay, shay'in mu'ayyin. That's shay'in. I'm sorry, shay'in mu'ayyin. There's something that is certain. Okay, in nahwa, in the grammar, it's going to have al baytu, al the house, al qalamu, the pen, al qalamu, Qalam, al qalamu, the pen, or rajulu, rajul, rajul, that's the man, and al bintu, bintu, al bintu, the bint, the girl. Okay, so it's definite. And to be clear on what it is, we have al going in front of it. So that's another matter that we covered in our classes, and we'll be continuing. Everything that we're sharing with you, we'll be continuing to use as we move forward in the lessons, along with the rest of the lessons that come with it. Inshallah ta'ala. So we mentioned that there's two types of harf. The harf alphabet, right? All the small particles in the language are harf, but the smallest particle is a single letter of the alphabet. That's a harf. The plural of that is huruf. Huruf. That means letters, harfs, okay, particles. Okay, al-huruful qamariya. Qamar is moon. Qamr is moon. Qamar. Okay? Not like Hama with the KH. That's alcohol, intoxicants. This is Qamar. Qamar. Okay? And huruful qamariya, it means moon letters. In Arabic, the alphabet are divided. The 28 letters are divided 14 and 14. And they're divided because the way the letters are pronounced, when you make it when you put al in front of it, Certain letters flow with that lam, certain letters flow with that L sound, and certain letters don't flow with the L sound. So the ones that don't flow with the L sound are called sun letters, right? So they're handled a certain way. The letters that do flow with that L sound are called moon letters. So we're starting first with the huruful qamariya. We're starting first with the moon letters. These are the letters that when you say al in front of it, if the first letter on that word flows with the sound of the L, with the sound of al, that's a moon letter. Okay, and these are those letters now. The first of them is the Aleph, the Hamza. The Aleph is a moon letter. Okay, so you would say Al-Arabiya, Al-Arabiya. I'm sorry, not Al-Arabiya. Al-Arnab. Okay, or let's see, something that we use in general. Okay, this is the letter that's in front of the word Islam. I want to use something common, Islam. Okay, we say Islam. Okay, it starts with this letter. Okay, with a kesra. So Al Islam. See, it has a flow with the L, with the lam. Al Islam, Al Islam. Okay, so Aleph is one of the first letters that's in the moon letter. The letter Ba is a moon letter, right? We have the surah Al-Baqarah. Al-Baqarah. See, this is one of the letters that flows that when you say the al in front of it, you can flow. Now, let me just give you an example of a sun letter, even though we're not on the sun letters yet, to show you what I mean about a letter that flows with al and a letter that doesn't flow. Okay? When we greet each other, do we say al-salamu alaikum or do we say as-salamu alaikum? Right? So that letter seen, the S sound in salam doesn't flow with the L, with the lam, so we don't say al-salamu alaikum. So that seen is a sun letter, we double its sound. We skip over the L and we double the sound. We say as-salamu alaikum. As-salam, okay? So that's an example. So again, back to the moon letters, the letters that flow with the sound of the L. Okay, so here's the letter Jim as in Jannah, right? We say Al Jannah. We don't say Edge. We don't double the J sound, the Jim sound. We say Al Jannah. Al Jannah. Okay, that's the Jim for Jannah. And we have Ha, the letter Ha, right? As in for how, as in your condition, right? Okay, we have the letter Ha. Now, another thing that's good is that when you're learning the moon letters, every letter, see how these letters are in the same family? This one has a dot, but this one doesn't. Every letter that's in a certain family falls under the same rule. If Jim is a moon letter, then Ha has to be a moon letter because the rules of the family apply. The languages, the letters are in families like that, and they follow the family rules. You know, you don't have renegades that's doing something else other than what the family wants to do, like us human beings, right? Okay. And Ha, like hiring, hire for good, hire, right? You see it's in the same family. It's also a moon letter. Okay. Okay. So we say I'll hire the good. I'll hire the good. So we say Al. Okay. So every letter that's in the same family, if the first letter is a moon letter, then the rest of the letters in that family are moon letters. You say Al with them. Ain. Ain. Ain is a word that means like your eye, right? Ain. Okay. Ain. Al-Ain. Okay. So the letter Ain works with the lam, so you can say al-ain. So that means automatically what? This other letter in the same family with it, ghain, al-ghain, right? Al-ghayr, ghayrul magdubi, al-ghayr, the ghayr, right? That which is unlike, not ghayr, right? It takes al. If this takes al and you pronounce the lam, you pronounce the l, then the same thing follows here with this family member. Also, the letter fa, al-fatiha. We don't say al-fatiha, we say al-fatiha, right? Letter fa. Same thing here. We say this is the qaf. We say al-Quran, right? We don't say al-Quran, we say al-Quran, al-Quran. Okay. So you see that in the moon letters we have 1, 2, 3. These 3 letters are in the same family, and then these 2, right? So we have 7 letters connected by family in the moon letters, okay? The next letter here is Kaf, right? As in Kitab, Al-Kitab, right? So you see the letter Lam, the L flows with the Kaf, Al-Kitab. And all of these are words that we know and we say on different occasions anyway, right? So these so far what you see are the moon letters. Wherever you see these letters, the Al can be pronounced. When you have Al in front of it, you pronounce that L and then you pronounce the letter. We said Meme, right? Al-Ma'idah, right? The Surah Al-Ma'idah, okay? Al-Ma'idah. So the Meme, the M sound, can be pronounced behind the L, behind the Lam. And the Ha, the soft Ha on the end of the alphabet, right? Al-Hawa, the soft Ha. This Ha also can be pronounced behind the Lam. And the way that you can remember this is, just remember that you can get an H sound behind the L. If this Ha, the strong Ha, like in Rahma, this strong Ha, then this soft Ha, you can also get behind the L, the Lam, okay? This is a strong H sound, this is a soft H sound. They both come after the L. So when we're studying and we're reviewing, you see a word that has this Al in front of it, this Aleph and Lam, that's Al right there. You see they have this in front of it, then you know that if it has a moon letter as the first letter following it, this L, this Lam is pronounced as Al. Okay? And we have the letter Waw, right? Al-Wala, Al-Wala, Al. So the letter Waw takes the Lam in front of it. The L is pronounced in front of the letter Waw, and also the letter Ya. The letter Ya takes the Lam also. You say Al-Yom, like the day, Al-Yom, or today, Al-Yom, okay? So these are the letters that take the Lam, where the Lam is pronounced as an L. You see here, we have 14 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you see how interesting the letters look, right? 6, 7. Wait, where's 7? Hey, I did something wrong here, huh? Oh, 7. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay. But this should have been, sometimes you find the alphabet like this, where you have the wow and the ha, but I generally teach the alphabet ha, wow, and ya. And you can remember these last 3 letters like Hawaii. But these are the 14 letters that are the moon letters that you pronounce the Lam, the L with. Now we have, sometime this week, Al-Hurufu Shamsiyah. Shams means the sun, like the Surah Shams, wa Shamsi wa Duhaha, right? The Shams, the sun, okay? Hurufu Shamsiyah means the sun letters, okay? And we covered this, right? How you get to Harf, Huruf, Shams, okay? Sun letters. The first of them is the letter Ta, okay? So we say at Tawheed. We don't say al Tawheed, right? We say at Tawheed, okay? Anything that has the letter Ta, we say at. We double it. We don't say al, we say at. So a sun letter, it means that we don't pronounce that sound of al, the lam, the al, when we're saying the, okay, at ta. And then we have the letter Tha, which is in the same family. It just has one more dot, right? Tha, like thamarat, like fruit, thamarat, right? You say athob, like a thobe that a person wears or clothing. Athob, okay? This is the letter. Athob, so you see these two follow the same rule because they're in the same family. They're both sun letters. Then we have Del, right? Edel, Edel, right? This is a sun letter. So obviously what? Vel, in the same family, just has a dot, right? A nukta. Same family. So these both also follow the rule of being sun letters. Okay? Sun letters. And the reason why I tell people if you're trying to learn the sun and moon letters, Start with the sun letters, because if you master the sun letters, the 14 sun letters, then the other 14 letters become obvious to you that they're moon letters. And after a while, they'll start flowing in and you automatically know them. Because if you why I say master the sun letters? Because the sun letters have more families, which makes it easier to remember if it's a sun letter. Because look, if you can remember either one of these, dal or thou, you know the other one is a sun letter. If you remember either one of these is a sun letter, you know the other one is a sun letter. So where we have 4 letters right now, if you just remember 2 of them, you know 4 letters that are sun letters. You see what I mean? And there's more families in the sun letters than there were in the moon letters, as you'll see, inshallah. The letter Ra is a sun letter. We don't say Al-Rahman, we say Ar-Rahman, 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 right? Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim. See, we don't say Al. Ra is a sun letter. So obviously, the letter in its family, Zay, Zay, right? Zay, this letter is also a sun letter. You remember one, you know the other, right? So we have what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 letters already that are in families, right? That are sun letters. We have the letter Sin, okay? Like we say Assalamu alaikum, Assalamu alaikum, right? And then we have Sheen, same family, right? Ash-Shaytan, Sheen, right? Both of these, we don't say Al, we double a letter. Ash-Shaytan, As-Salam. These are sun letters. So all of these so far, we have all of these letters that are in families. That's easier to learn. If you learn these, then the moon letters are covered for you, inshallah. Then we have the letter Sod, right? This is the letter in Salah, not this. This is Salam, this is Salah. Hayya ala Salah, Salah, not Salah, Salah. This is the Sod, okay? The letter Sod, that other S. This letter Sin, when you say it, it forms a smile in your mouth, Sin. This letter, when you say it, it forms an O in your mouth. Sword, sword, like that. Okay, but still, this sword is a sun letter, right? We say as-salah, and then you have Dod, the letter Dod. Right? The letter Dod, same family, same rule applies. Okay. Then we have the letter Ta, the letter Ta. Right? This is a Ta. This is the other type of T sound in Arabic, right? Ta. Okay, this is the one we saw when we said Tabib, the doctor, Tabib, right? And in its family is the letter Dha, like in the word Azim, okay? And then Dhuhr, in the Salat Dhuhr, this is the letter that you use, okay? So this is what you have. These two, again, sun letters. Look at how many we have in families already, that if you know one, you know the other, right? We're up to what? 12. And we have all families so far, 12 letters. Then you have the letter Lam. Lam can be tricky sometimes. It can be confusing. Lam is a sun letter. And because remember, Lam is the letter that we're using for the owl, right? So sometimes we may see a word that starts with a Lam, and we may get confused. But here's the thing. Lam works like this. Every letter that you heard so far that's a sun letter, it means that when you saw this Aleph and Lam, we went straight past the Lam to the sun letter and mentioned it twice, right? Ashams. Ashams. We skipped over the Lam. Okay? So when the situation is that the first letter of a word is a Lam, remember you're gonna see this Aleph and this Lam, and then you're gonna see another Lam to start the word that it's spelling. That's how you know. Aleph and Lam. If you see a Lam, you're gonna double this Lam. You're gonna ignore this because Lam is a sun letter, so you ignore this first one. Okay? So when you say words like Allah, when you say Allah's name, right? Allah, you're saying Allah. You have the Aleph, and then that first Lam that you see on Allah, you're skipping that. Remember the one in the middle that has the shadda on it, the W looking thing and the line coming out? That's the one you're actually pronouncing. You're skipping that first. You're saying Allah, Allah, okay? Like that. If you say Luga like language, right? Luga. If you make it the language, you're gonna say Al-Luga. That first Lam, you're not really pronouncing it. You're pronouncing that second one twice, just like if it was here. It would be right here, and it would have a shudder. It would be Luga, okay, like that. Inshallah ta'ala, you get used to it. And we have finally the letter Nun, right? So the only letters not in family is Lam and Nun, right? We say An-Nur. We say An-Nur, right? We say An-Nur. Surah what? Right? We say Nur. We use the Nun, okay? Surah Nas, right? We say for light, we say An-Nur, An-Nur. Okay, so these are the sun letters. These are all the letters that when you pronounce them with an al in front of them, you pronounce the letter twice. You don't say al. Okay, that's how you when you think now about words, we say like assalamu alaikum, right? Alhamdu, right? Because the ha is a moon letter, so we alhamdu, right? Like that. Okay, it starts making sense. And then I want to remind you that we had vocabulary. And this is a very important thing to remember. Vocabulary is king. Vocabulary is king. Grammar is mastery of the language, no question, but vocabulary is king. A quick reminder of what I always mention to people. If you met somebody from another country and they were here trying to explain something to you, you could hear that their English is all broken up, but you can kind of figure out what they're trying to say. Their grammar is not good, but they got some vocabulary under their belt. So they're saying those words, they're saying them out of context, or they're not saying in correct tense, like past tense, present tense, or whatever. But because they got vocabulary, they have something to work with. You get your vocabulary, keep growing in your vocabulary. And as the grammar begins to become a part of it, where you know how to use past tense, present tense, how to say singular, dual, or plural, things like that, right? When you get that, it just gets stronger. But the more you have vocabulary, the more you begin to make sense out of things. The more you can read documents and you can say, okay, I'm not getting the whole grammar concept here, but I could tell they're talking about somebody went across the street. I just can't tell if they're saying they went presently or if they're going to go across the street. I can't tell if it was one or more of them. I can't tell if it was, but I can tell it was a male because I know that Tamabudu would have been a female, stuff like that, okay? So when we view the vocabulary, we said this right here, it could be a rooster or a chicken. Those who know a rooster when they see one know it's a rooster. But if you had any doubts, you see here, have that automatically tells you that whatever this is, it's male because have that is for male. If this was a female anything, it would have been had the he. So have that, the word for the rooster is deek, deekun, deekun, have that deek. So the word for rooster is deek, D-E-E-K, deek, right? That's a rooster. This is a kalb, kalb. Now remember, kalb with a Q, Q-A-L-B, Q-A-L-B, kalb, that's heart. This is kalb with a K, K-A-L-B, kalb. That's dog. Okay, this is a dog, kalb. I try to make sure we get rid of the eyeballs. Okay, this is himar, himar, himar. That's a donkey, himar. This is jamal, J-A-M-A-L, jamal, for camel, jamal. Write these down. Remember, you're supposed to be moving forward. What happens is if you let this vocabulary build up and you don't know them, it gets harder because you're trying to get caught up. As we're doing the lessons, every time we come across a new vocabulary word, study, make that word yours, make that word your possession. Okay, it gets easier if you study the vocabulary as you're going along instead of trying to catch up 15, 20 words before the next lesson. Because what happens is if you don't work on your vocabulary, when we get to the next lesson and we're teaching you something and that word is in it, you're still struggling with that word while you could be getting the benefit of the lesson that's going on at that time, okay? So everybody work on the vocabulary. Okay, jamal. This is a camel, jamal. This is hison, hison. This is a horse, hison. See, there's that sword now. So it's not hisan, it's hison. Okay, sword. That's the sword. Hison. Okay? And as we said, when you see this aleph in the middle of a word, it's usually there to elongate a fatah. Make that fatah long. Hison. Hison. Okay? This is a horse right here. Hison. Okay? Then we had an exercise. to read and write. Ikra waqtu. And we said that when you have a word, when you have the aleph in front of a word like this, then you pronounce the vowel with it, ikra, like that, ikra. But when you have the aleph in front of a word and there's a word in front of it, this aleph has no significance except that it's wasl. It's to carry the sound. So you carry the sound from this waw with the fatah, wa. You don't say wa aktub, you say waktub. Okay? Ikra means read, aktub means write. So ikra waktub means read and write. That was the assignment, to read and write. And I just used this to give you an example when we were studying how the vowel sound goes right past the aleph to the next letter. Right? Wasamai, what tariq, right? From Surah Tariq. Okay. So we said men dhalika, who is that? We said dhalika imam. Dhalika imam. That is an imam. Right? Men dhalika, who is that? Dhalika imam. That is an imam. Hada sukar. Hada sukar. Sukar, this is sugar. This is sugar. Hada sukar. I had a different one with a picture of an actual bag of sugar. I don't know how I pulled this one up instead of that one. That was a better example, okay? And this is milk. Wadhalika, and that is wadhalika lebanon. Dhalika lebanon. Okay? Now, some people indicate that the word leaven refers to more a dairy product in terms of yogurt as opposed to milk, and they use the word halib in many regions for milk. Okay, in the lessons in the book, we have leaven for milk. Okay, wadhalika leaven, and that is milk, leaven, Laban, leaven. Sukaru, Sukkar, sukar. Adhalika kitun, is that adhalika, right? There's that adhalika kitun, is that a cat? La. Might look like a cat from a distance, but if you look at it closely, dhalika kalbun, that is a dog. La. Dhalika kalbun, no, that is a dog. This is a rock, in case it doesn't look like one. Ma hadha, what is this? Hadha hajrun. Now remember, this section here called tamreen, tamreen means exercise. When you hear the word exercise, it means homework. Okay, so when we're doing this, it means you copy what you see here and you write it. Read it, and write it. And remember, you want to read out loud because you want to practice your reading. Remember, you reading a book, and people are like, man, can't you read that to yourself? But when it comes to studying your Arabic, you want to read it out loud because you want to become accustomed to reading the Arabic, and it helps build your pace and helps you build your confidence and your comfort with the Arabic. And as you're reading it, you're beginning to realize you're also learning to understand what you're reading. Okay, so read it and then write it. So everything that's been on the screen from here, tamreen, except for this, you don't have to write this, but these items, man, have that so forth and so on, write them. Okay, you don't have to draw the pictures, just write the words. If you feel like drawing a picture, that's up to you. If that helps your studies. And man, have that. What is this? Have that hajru. This is a stone or a rock, either way. Okay, and that's what we wanted to cover in our review for tonight. Inshallah ta'ala, if there's any questions, or comments, you can send them to me an email at abujamiylah, the way I spell my name, Abu Jamila, at yahoo.com. And yeah, someone told me that I'm in the Stone Age because hardly anybody uses Yahoo anymore, but I still do. Okay, Abu Jamila at yahoo.com. ABUJAMIYLAH. If there's any questions or you need help with anything, let me know, inshallah, and we'll help you out. Okay, that's what you want to do. You want to write anything that you weren't able to catch, inshallah, go back and review the video you know, you can do it. Everybody's doing this at their pace. If you can do it at a quicker pace, alhamdulillah, and you're getting your comprehension, that's good. If it takes you a little longer, don't feel pressed. There's nobody here to compete and make you feel like you're being left behind. Obviously, if you push forward, then you're gonna keep being encouraged, right, to push forward, because we don't want anybody that catches on quick or that can get it down to feel stifled and held back. We want to encourage that too. So if you're feeling slow, don't worry about it, because we're here to help you move along. If you're moving fast, we're here to help you keep on going. Either way, everybody, it's about your own pace. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that Allah Ta'ala loves the thing that's done consistently, even if it's a little. So always find your zone. Whatever amount you can do consistently, do only that amount. Just do it consistently. Don't burn yourself out trying to do tons of things and then later can't do anything. Just do a small amount up to the max that you feel comfortable with, and do it consistently. Keep doing it. Keep reviewing. Okay. أقول قال هذا. Having said this, Astaghfirullah li wa lakum. Astaghfirullah, I seek Allah forgiveness for you and for me. Subhanaka Allahumma wa bihamdik. Glory to you, Allah, and with your praise. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. I testify that none has the right to be worshipped except you. Wa astaghfiruk. And I seek your forgiveness. Wa atubu ilayk. And I repent unto you. Wa aqir da'wana. And our final dua. Wa salatu wa salam ala rasulihi kareem. The prayers and salutations upon his noble messenger. Wa ala alihi. And upon his family. Wa ashabihi. His companions. Ajma'in. All of them. Wa man taba'uhum. And on whoever follows them. Bil ihsan. In righteousness. Ila yawmuddin. To their judgment. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.